Hello, welcome to the Help Appear classroom. I'm Karen, your teacher for this class. Bob is my TA. Ryan and Lou are our students. For today's class, we're going to introduce our semester-long project, Help Appear. Help Appear is a student pitch project with the Entertainment Technology Center at Carnegie Mellon University. We have been building a tool that helps teachers manage the difficulties of remotely teaching and enables them easier access to utilize smart quizzing and group learning techniques in their virtual classroom. When we pitched our project, we talked to teachers about big pain points with remote learning. First is not being able to run effective group activities on Zoom. Organizing breakout room in a way that is not random is hard to do with needing to lecture at the same time. Second is we need to learn a plethora of complicated technology while adapting to remote teaching. So, we developed our design pillars around smart quizzing, smart grouping, and student support in a streamlined fashion, all in one extension. And we wanted to make something that is easy for teachers to learn and use. I see Lou looks confused. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So, what makes smart quizzing different from regular quizzing?
So that's a good question. And as you can see here, we actually detected that Lou actually raised a hand here, and we can detect that she actually has a question. And then we can actually take a note on Lou and actually mention that she had a good question at this point. Now, to answer her concern about, well, what's the difference with our system? So we can actually create questions on the spot, and the question we could ask at the moment is like, what is the name of our project? And we can enter an answer saying HAP. And whenever we feel ready, we can screen share that question with the class. And the class would only see that question pop up to them. All they have to do is put two equal signs before their answer and send it to a chat as Help Appear, the person who's running the chat. Now, we can also see results as these pop in. And we can see that Lou has answered correct, but these two individuals have not. In case we feel like their answer is suffice, we can always mark them as correct. And hopefully that answers Lou's concern.
Yeah, so that is smart quizzing, Bob. That was a great answer. And I'd like to talk a little bit about our discovery during teacher interviews. We found that teachers have very different styles teaching online and things they do to keep tabs on their students. Taking notes, for one, is one thing that was widely done by some teachers by paper and pen, while not by the others. When to use quiz questions is another. Some prefer to create quiz questions on the fly based on how some prefer to create questions on the fly based on how class went, while some prefer to input all the quiz questions they need to use in one go in the beginning. The way breakout rooms are organized is yet another. Some teachers like to use quiz results as a criteria to group students, while others prefer factors such as student moods, personalities, etc. I see Ryan, do you have a question?
Yeah, so how exactly does this smart grouping work in a way that isn't random?
So we actually detected a question here through the chat as well, and we also have a contribution change in terms of who's contributing to the discussion here. We can put a good question note here on Ryan, but to answer his concern of why our grouping is supposedly different, uh, let's just show how the setup groups looks on this side. So we've asked one question at the moment, which is what is the name of the project, and we had two different answers from Karen and Ryan, which weren't HAP or Help Appear. The system marks them in red, and we can actually group these students based on varied skill levels. So we would have supposedly this student with a student who's stronger, and this student with a student who's stronger. Let's supposedly we want to group them based on similar skill levels, so you put all the weak ones together. This will put Karen and Ryan together, and me and Lou in a different group. And whenever we're ready, we can share those groups with the class, and they wouldn't know how they were paired, and they wouldn't even know what their skill set is supposed to be according to the system. And Ryan, thank you for your question.
Thank you, Bob, for your answer. And that's smart grouping. Now, we'd like to talk a little bit about our playtesting results. So we have ran playtests with both ETC students who had TA experiences in the past and also with the 8th grade math class at the Nativity School of Worcester with three teachers. So both expressed interest and positive remarks about our extension, about its simplicity and ease to use. The Nativity School of Worcester really liked our way of sharing questions and collecting answers compared to their current way of sharing questions through Google Slides. They also like that they can share questions in breakout rooms. There are some things that they prefer to do over regular Zoom, which is fine because in Help Appear, you can still access all regular Zoom functionalities. They thought taking notes in Help Appear is a bit trickier since the Zoom window will be smaller compared to how they're usually full screen. So we actually implemented a dock stream functionality. This is Help Appear, and we're building a Zoom extension for teachers to help with their remote teaching needs.